Hello ladies and gentlemen, we are back with ADV here. Got another video. It's been a little while, things have been crazy. Obviously with the coronavirus stuff going on, etc. Been busy. Quick update to the bike. Some things have been added. I also have on my Instagram, I posted a couple things there. I did add a Thermo Bob. Got that from 3D Cycle Parts. If you don't know who the two there, the owner, great guy, awesome site. Also, I had the white Top Gun spring, if you remember, the 7.4 kilogram, and I upped it to the 8 kilogram spring for a little more load there. So I did put the yellow spring on there. It is very nice. I put it on the preload 1. The rebound setting is stock for now. So I get it dialed in, and the sag, it's excellent. So it's a stiffer ride, but it's not harsh by any means. A couple of things I did add recently the Chrono Parts tank protectors that I had. They're not bad, but again, I'm going to be honest with you guys, the review, I didn't like the adhesive on them. They started peeling up, even though I wiped it down with an alcohol and heated them up like the instructions said. They started peeling up. So to be honest, I think need to be a little bit different adhesive on there maybe. I got them off nice with the heat gun, and my lovely wife did buy me a set of the tech spec tank guards for the KLR, which was very nice. These are awesome. You can actually take these off and put them back on if you need to. They went on very nice. They're a good thickness, grippy, and they don't move. They're not coming off unless you use a heat gun and peel them off carefully. But they are a great product. A little pricey, and they're around 60 bucks or so for both sides, but they're well worth it. Bigger, and they're comfortable, especially riding standing up. You can pinch your legs between the tank there. A little more control. So back to the Thermo Bob there. I did get the gold one. I like the contrast with the black. I like the gold. Really easy to install. I drained down here. Again, there's a lot of install videos, so I'm not going to go into depth too much. Took my skid plate off, drained it. There's a small plug down here. Tighten it back up to 70 inch-pounds. Use a torque wrench if you have one. This hose right here is the one you're going to take off. And if you can see, let me get my Lightmaker 5000 here. And then you can see in there where this bypass tube from the Thermo Bob goes right to that tube. It's not too bad to get in there. And I positioned the clamps so that I could tighten them. It's not hard to put on. You keep you can trim this hose if you need to. I didn't have to keep it away from the exhaust pipe. But again, it adds a bypass in there, so it keeps the coolant at 195 instead of 160, because it splashes the bottom of the cylinder with cool water. There's a whole write-up on Wattman's site. I'll put the link in the description. But guys are having issues with oil burning, etc., or the cylinders being out of round after so long, because if the top of the cylinder is real hot, the bottom is cold. You're splashing the coolant that's just coming right from the radiator, circling back down to your pump, up to your engine. So that's going to be a lot colder than the top. You kind of want an even temperature, plus you want everything, the oil, up to a certain temperature. You don't want it 160 degrees. It's kind of, for an internal combustion engine to run well, you want higher temperatures. There's a whole technical write-up on it. But, so I did install that, took the bike for a ride. Draining this coolant, you got about, 32 ounces, 34 ounces roughly out of it. So, refilled it with the same coolant, put it in a nice clean container, and I had no problems. Let it run for a little while, make sure there was no air in the system. Temps were good. They came down when I went riding a little bit, so everything's fluctuating, working well. Comes with 2 new thermostats, which is nice. So you have 2 of the 195 or the thermostats that come with the Wattman, and I had my stock one, which is the 160. Saved it, and it went well. Everything's good, no leaks. Another thing from 3D Cycle Parts that I added. Grab my flashlight again. Just for my own personal preference, I put a fuel filter on. There is a small little inline one that goes into the carb, and the plastic barb on the carb there. There is a small one. It's real tiny, it's like inline. I took that out. This is replaceable. I did switch over the fuel line to Tygon. It's a Motion Pro flexible, the Tygon, the premium fuel line from 3D Cycle Parts. Highly recommended. It comes in a foot length, and the stuff's awesome. Didn't have to use any clamps. It's on there secure. Very flexible, doesn't kink. The stuff is amazing. I had the yellow stuff before. Not bad, but it's very rigid, and I can see that being an issue, not having enough flexibility. Fuel filter's in a position where I can change it out easily, and there's no kinks or nothing. I kind of ran it underneath the starter relay cover, and it worked nice. So I have plenty extra slack if I need, and then have to change everything out. But that's the updates, and that's pretty much it. What's been going on with the bike. So for now, she's done. You know, until I come up with some other ideas. Oh, another thing I did do. I don't think I talked about this in the last video. The Kawasaki windshield. They make a tall windshield with cutouts here, so when you turn your bars, it's not bumping into stuff. This is nice. A little decal there left over from what I did on my truck. That's the aircraft roundels. This is nice. It's up just high enough where the wind goes over. It doesn't hit me in the face anymore. Before it was, when you start getting up there in speed. This is the Kawasaki one. It does have the black cutoff here. I did get that on Amazon. I found it, but it was a Kawasaki genuine part, so fit nice. If you do need the little well nuts, they're little rubber well nuts. If you ever have a problem with those, they're a pain in the ass. Taking them out, putting them in the new windshield, they're just rubber grommets, they slide in. If you lose them or they're just old or whatever, you can get brand new ones. Again, 3D Cycle Parts has a ton of OEM parts as well, so they always have stuff for these. You know, like your oil bypass tube, like if you throw that out with the oil filter, people have done that. You know, they carry things like that. Again, awesome guy. I talked to Rod at Top Gun. Right now their springs are $80, free shipping. So if you're looking for a little extra capacity for the KLR, I highly recommend their springs. Real easy to do. You know, while you have the dog bone down here off is the only thing I did. Swing it down, and you know the top bolt is a 17 millimeter. Shock will slide right out. You know, and then grease your bolts going back in. You know, that's just preventative maintenance stuff. And that's about it. But last thing I did, we talked about these J&S foot peg relocation brackets. They lower them and put them to the rear more. Fantastic. I highly recommend them. I've gotten some riding time on them. Big change in ergonomics as far as comfort. Very, very comfortable, especially when standing. You know, I'm only 5'10", but it puts everything in a better position for me, which I like. Just made it you know, better. Could be good for some, you know, not for others. But that's about it, guys. If you have any questions, as I said, I'll put the links in the description for 3D Cycle Parts as well as Top Gun motorcycles. And that's about it. Until next time, ride safe and take care.